all mine off, buddy. Come on.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
There you go.
All right. Last couple of pieces here.
There you go.
Pop this one out.
This is going to be a nice compliment to this truck. Now, you know, you take a look at the factory filters. You take a look at the factory box. They can be really restrictive. Of course, you know, they got a lot of requirements and regulations to meet. Mass airflow sensors on here. We need to transfer this. This is a pretty nice piece, too. You want to take care of it.
Yeah, these are really cool. If you look inside, there are little wires that are in there. Now what happens is air goes over the wires. The computer sends a signal, or actually heats up the wire. And as the air goes through, it actually cools the wire. And then the computer sends more electricity to heat it up. And it knows by how much electricity it sends through, that's how it knows how much air is going.
I'm impressed. He's right on the money.
Not bad, huh?
When the air tries to go across those heated wires, it cools it down. The computer measures grams per second. That's the only thing you missed.
Well,
but you got an A+. So what we have here is a Volant cold air intake. And this is going to be a nice complement to the exhaust system we put on this truck. The exhaust is really nice. It flows good, polished stainless, fits on the factory mounts. So now you put a cold air box on, and you get flow in and flow out. That's going to make this 5.3 liter work a lot better.
That's a must-have for us around here. If we get a new truck, got to put the intake, got to have the exhaust, got to have the wheels, tint the windows, new stereo.
There you go.
All right, so.
Now, we got an optional filter with this kit. It's called the Power Core. Look at that thing.
Yeah, this thing is really nice. Normally you get probably 10, 15,000 miles out of your filter. This thing goes 100,000 miles due to its size and the way it's constructed. You don't have to like change it. You don't have to wash it out and clean it and oil it like you normally would.
It traps 99% of the particles. Now, the neat part about this, 100,000 miles, and you don't spend a lot of time. This is an optional filter. You can get it with the 5-layer gauze, stretch over the wire that you oil it. So these are available, by the way, for other cold air intakes. That fits right in there, but we're not ready to put that in yet. While you transfer the mass airflow sensor here, tighten this up.
Yep.
We had to take the filter out because in here, we're going to put those bolts in, hold this box in the truck.
That's right.
Then we got a tube that'll connect from our throttle body. We got all kinds of neat hoses and clamps, everything you need to install it. Okay, buddy, go ahead and slap that in. I'll get you the bolts. I'm all tightened up here, buddy. How you doing?
2 more.
All right. This Volant cold air intake, it went in really nice, fits well. Besides all of the clamps and so on, even right here, you get a nice silicone hose that joins this air tube to the mass airflow sensor that Brian mounted on the box.
Speaking of stainless, you ready?
Yeah.
Ready for the unveiling?
Yeah. That's nice. You leave that protective cover on till you're all done.
Shiny.
You got no scratches. It looks good. Last thing we'll have to do is put this cover on top of the engine. And it's been a lot of fun working on this nice, clean truck. Now we need to buckle down. We got our charity car in here, that Jeep Cherokee with the real nasty engine and the leak.
Looks like trouble.
We're going to show you how to take care of a good leaky power steering, worn out power steering unit.
Now, you talk about another performance product. It's that cold air intake from Volant.
Now, this is for 07 Chevy Silverados. This thing's actually going to increase horsepower by up to 20%.
You know, the idea behind the box right here is pretty simple. It's underneath the hood. Now, you've got all that heat underneath the hood, right? The box isolates that heat to the outside. Cooler air in the box means cooler air going to your motor. And you know what that means, dude? More horsepower. That's the name of the game.
Well, keep in mind, this will be available for both oiled and dry filters, so those discriminating folks who want either or, they've got both options.
Yeah, that's cool, man. You can go either way. Eventually, one of these is going to end up in our Heartthrob project truck as well. So that's coming up here before too long. Now, if you're working on a project, maybe you have a question and you want to get in there into a pool of dudes from all over the country that might be dealing with the same problem, check out our forum. You never know what kind of information you're going to find.
Absolutely, man.
All right, we need to go to break, but speaking of that truck, we need to get some more work done on it,
sure
starting in just a couple of minutes. Pretty comfortable again.
So Matt and I did some shopping, and I think we got everything we needed. Now, the first thing on our list was this cold air intake from Volant. And, dude, you know me. I'm not about the show.
Well, maybe just a little bit, dude.
Maybe just a little. But I like to think I'm a little bit more about the go, though, and I think this is a good place to start.
Yes, excellent way to start right here with the cold air intake from Volant Performance. So we got a couple benefits on this one. We'll get the stock system out of the way. There's the filter.
You know, the folks from Volant will tell you that putting in one of these cold air intake boxes, you're going to pick up 9 horsepower and 11 foot-pounds of torque. Dude, and the way I'm figuring that is, I think per minute of install, we're doing pretty good in terms of horsepower.
You have a very interesting way of looking at things, but you know what? In some strange way, he actually makes a good point, so that's cool. All right, now we get in this. Now the idea behind the Volant system is this factory box right here. The idea is, as you're driving down the road and all the heat is generated from the engine, all that heat is underneath the hood right here. So you want to separate that heat from what's going in through the intake, and that's what the sealed box does. So it's going to grab cooler air, pass it in there nice and smooth. Cooler air means more horsepower. Another cool thing that we had laying around was the snorkel kit from Volant Performance as well. That's for an 04 to 06. Now we're not going to use that on this model because this is an 07. And you know, you Jeep guys know that these are cool because you can put the intake real high, like up on the top of the windshield. So if you're going to drive in some deep water, you know, that's a lot of fun. You can do that. But dude, come on, this guy's not going to be driving.
God,
in
I hope
deep
not
water.
the kind of money he's got in this thing.
You know what I mean? So hey, but we'll save this for another project.
Yeah, why don't we finish buttoning this thing up here, Matt, and then we'll head to the back and start working on that exhaust.
All right, dude, that sounds good. The exhaust is step number 2.